the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject som kere konservator konserverino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey. Happy Monday. I know a guy used to say that all the time. Probably still does. I don't get to talk to him as much over at that place anymore. But that's all good because we're in a better place. We are back for another week of Wanna Bet, and we are coming in off of an NBA Finals that we closed out in very strong form. And I've buried the lead because we're coming back with my man, Eric Casillas, who has been crushing it on this show, but he's been crushing it in our super Discord. He's been crushing it in the picks he gives out in social. Beltway Ben is on a WNBA MLB heater. I've been doing very well in the NBA, in the MLB lately. We continue. We hit some bad luck in the Gold Cup, another red card last night, but I got a lot of plays I like in the Gold Cup. And we are fired up to do this with you guys again this week. Beltway Ben, before we formally welcome in our guy EK, can you show the people the numbers there, our bet slips? So there you have it, guys. If you've been watching and you've been tailing, you've been cashing. And we are dead set on having another monster Monday with EK. EK, thank you for joining us. How are you doing? Are you already pining for the NBA? Because I am. I already miss it.
Yeah, I am already pining for the NBA. But don't worry, I'll work a little in on this show. And by the way, you're being very humble, saying you're doing, okay. You crushed baseball yesterday in the Discord at 3-0. You and I combined to go 7-0 on the Discord yesterday in baseball. And I have a baseball play today that I absolutely love that I can't wait to get to. So I'm ready to go.
Beltway Ben, you ready to go?
Absolutely.
You always are. Beltway Ben's understated.
Where's the chocolate milk? When am I going to get to watch Beltway Ben drink some chocolate milk? I mean, when the people are calling for this, Ben.
Next Monday. We'll make it happen next Monday.
Maybe like if Beltway Ben gets on a 10-0 heater, he will chug another gallon. I don't want you to drink a gallon of chocolate milk. Another half gallon of chocolate milk or whatever. We'll figure it out. There'll be a milk-related challenge with Beltway Ben, America's #1 dairy advocate. When he gets on a 10-0 heater, because it's coming. All right, if you haven't played along with us before, first down, second down, third down, we give you our 3 favorite plays of the day. Third down, our best play of the day. That's the money down. Then we got some NFL talk in fourth and long and overtime. Fourth and long, we will each give you a week 1 bet that we have made right now for week 1 in the NFL and why you should do it now and not wait any longer. And then overtime, Trender Ben, Jacksonville Jaguars. What do they usually do in terms of their win totals from the NFL? And will that continue? But EK, you have the honors. We always start our Mondays with you. What is your first down play, my friend?
I'm going to go to the NBA, and I want everybody to grab Cleveland to win the East right now at plus 330. First of all, we know that the West is a lot better, and that's a snake pit, and that's like old school SEC football, and I'm not only part of that. But I look at the East, and how are we not betting Cleveland right now? Boston has no Jason Tatum. I don't know what's going on up there. Indiana just played essentially an extra month of playoff games, and they're not going to have Halliburton next year. That's a torn Achilles, his dad said. So, that's going to be a huge adjustment. The Knicks fired their coach and can't play any defense.
No.
And the only team left is Cleveland, who, by the way, was the best team in the East. And the only reason they didn't win the East this year is they got ravaged by injuries in the playoffs. Bet against Lightning striking twice in the same spot. Bet against them being hurt. Remember, they were playing playoff games against Indiana without 3 starters. If they are just healthy, they win this year. And now everybody's going to be worse next year except for Cleveland, and I'm getting plus 330. Run to the window. I don't even have to win the title. I just got to show up with Cleveland, and I cash this.
Beltway Ben, you and I think if it's not Cleveland, maybe it's Orlando. Maybe it's Orlando. What do you have on first down today, Beltway Ben?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a little bit of a risky play here. Kobe Mayo over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus 105. Now, I get it. Mancelino's kept him out of the lineup against righties, but he gets a matchup with Patrick Corbin today. And we've talked about it on the show pretty regularly, what Patrick Corbin's done this year. But we're slowly starting to see the wheels come off, and he's slowly starting to turn into the guy that we thought he was all along, right? His ERA is up to 4.5 in the month of June. Kobe Mayo is due for his first MLB home run, right? There's been so many games where we've seen him not do it, and this is a guy who hits for a lot of power. Hitting for some average now against lefties, right? 250, 368, 375 slash line, but righties are slashing 265, 321, 235, or 435 against Corbin. 8 of the 11 home runs he's allowed are against right-handed hitters. So, I might be putting a little bit of money on Kobe Mayo to hit his first career home run today, but to play it safe for you guys, you're still getting plus money here. Plus 105 on him to go over his hits, runs, and RBIs. And this Orioles lineup, they're up and down, and they're dealing with some injuries. But I do think Kobe Mayo, another thing with him that I didn't even mention, the speed, right? Everybody sees the power that he hit for in the minors. This dude can run a little bit, and he gets good reads. That's one thing he's done pretty well since coming up. So on an extra base hit coming off of a single, he could score there. So I like him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus 105.
Yeah, he's more nimble than he looks, and the infield hits. It kind of reminds me of Ryan Mountcastle when he came up. Kid doesn't necessarily look like he's quick. He's maybe a plodding first baseman, but he does get down the line pretty quickly. So if you double clutch on that ball, maybe we get an infield hit there to help us out. First down for me. I am going back to the Gold Cup. Please, no red cards in this one. I'm taking Panama on the money line. Look, they're a better side than Jamaica. I did lay over the weekend some money on Panama to win the Gold Cup at 15-1. Now, if you watch this show regularly, my favorite play of the Gold Cup futures was Canada plus 650. But if Canada doesn't win and there is an upstart, I think it could be Panama. They're all over the ball. The only reason I don't feel like more bullish on this is they already know they're going through. But just watching them play, I think they really want to win this tournament. And not a lot of teams like Mexico and the U.S. look like they necessarily care all that much about winning the tournament, both from the sides they fielded and the way that they've played for the most part. I think Panama feels like as a group going through, even though they already know they're going through with 3 wins would matter to them. This is one of the worst Jamaica sides I've seen in a long time. I don't think they're going to be able to hold up against Panama. And what's really struck me about Panama is the anaerobic capacity of this team. They have played in extreme heat already, and it does not seem to bother them in the second half of these games the way it's getting to other teams. Their athleticism, their skill, they're dead set on attacking. They get 1 goal. And again, they get 1 goal in this one. They sit back a little bit. But in general, there's been an attacking thrust for the better part of 90 minutes in some oppressive conditions that just makes me feel really good about where they are as a team. So give me Panama money line. Second down, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, for second down, we're going to stick to the MLB, and I'm going to go with Wilyer Abreu over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 145. He's got a 503 slug against right-handed pitching this season, and that's really the only thing they're letting him face, right? If he's already in the lineup in the game, it's not a big time at bat. They'll let him stand against the lefty, but for the most part, he's only facing righties. He's slashing 283, 368, 513 on the road compared to 221, 274, 433 at Fenway Park. It's a relatively short porch at Angel Stadium, right? They changed it so now the board is a home run. So if he hits one off of that, we would cash just on 1 swing. But lefties are slugging 553 against Kashanowitz. And we talked about Patrick Corbin just a minute ago. There are some pitchers that we go after on this show, and we do it a lot. Kashanowitz is one of mine. 13 home runs allowed to left-handed hitters. If you give me a lefty power bat against Kashanowitz, I'm taking him the majority of the time. And I just, again, with Wilyer Abreu, where he's going to be in the lineup against the righty, I'm confident they can put this one away early enough with him doing some damage. But even if he doesn't, I think he stays in the game full 9 innings because they're up enough. So I like him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Sweet. Second down for me, staying in the Gold Cup. Again, these matches are on Tuesday. Canada lead after the first 30 minutes. We're getting plus money there. This is a Canada team that absolutely laid an egg last time out against Curacao. They score in the 9th minute. Jesse March, they're sort of imperiled or defrocked. I guess it's not either of those, but like suspended and maybe still suspended manager who maybe didn't watch the first match from where he was supposed to watch it from, who maybe got himself in more trouble. Like, him not being on the sidelines hurt. Them making 5 changes to their starting lineup from game 1 where they dominated Honduras hurt. And this was as bad a display as we've seen from Canada, probably in years. So coming off of that against an overwhelmed El Salvador team with a Canadian team that plays a really high line that presses you to try to turn you over like crazy against an El Salvador back line that has already shown a willingness to turn it over. They've been scoring early in matches at an alarming rate. Like, they've scored in the first 30 minutes in like 5 of their last 6 matches. And that includes playing against teams like Ukraine, like some good sides. They've scored in the first 30 minutes and held a lead after 30 minutes in 4 of their last 5 CONCACAF matches. And that includes facing teams like the U.S. and Mexico in that span. I'd be shocked if Jesse Marsch does not go back to that lineup from the first game against Honduras, which means we've got Buchanan and David. Maybe he puts Kyle Lauren in as well and have Lauren and David play off each other in a way we haven't seen so far in this tournament. Like, they will be gangbusters to try to suffocate this match and stranglehold it early. And they have the talent to do it. El Salvador doesn't have anything to play for. I think this sets up really well for Canada. The lines keep moving at an alarming rate if you want to bet Canada in this game. But this is one spot where I still felt like I could get plus money and not have to risk too much. And that first 30 minutes, they've dominated. EK, second down.
I'm going to go to baseball today, and I'm going to go right after the Yankees, and I'm going to go Yankees over 4.5 runs. Someplace it's 5.5, and you get plus 4.5, and you got to pay the juice. I'm going to go to 4.5. I'm going to pay the juice. You know, my favorite all-time sports quote is Wayne Gretzky, right? And they went to him and they said, dude, you're like 6 feet, 180 pounds. You're not bigger. You're not stronger. You're not faster. You're not that. Why are you just better than everybody else? And he's like, it's simple. Everybody skates to where the puck is. I skate where the puck's going to, right? Same thing here. Everybody's talking about the fact that the Yankees over the last 2 weeks haven't swung the bats that well. But if you look at really, really, really recent innings for the Yankees, in their last 33 innings, they've scored 23 runs. The bats are coming alive. And now they're going to an absolute bandbox in Cincinnati against Nick Lodolo, who's average, and a bullpen that I rate below average, in a game where I'm guaranteed to get all 27 outs because I'm the road team, so I get 9 full innings. So I get a team that's hot, good, against a mediocre pitching staff when I'm guaranteed to get all 27 outs, and I only got to get to 5. Give me all of that. It's my baseball play of the day. I love the Yankees to score 5 in this spot against the Reds.
Yeah, great ballpark for them. It's hot everywhere. One thing the Yankees do infinitely better this year than last year is hit left-handed pitching. Lodolo does give up some long balls, especially in that park. He's somebody I'm usually looking to play more on the road than at home. Oh, and Stanton's at-bat started to look a lot better now that he's finally getting his feet back under him. So love that, EK. All right, third down for me. I am in Major League Baseball with you guys. And I'm going White Sox. Give me the half run. I'm playing this a little safe in the first 5. EK, I'm not going to ask you this question because you know the answer. Beltway Ben Hall, who do you think is the number 1 team in Major League Baseball with a 27-10 record in the first 5 run line at home this season?
Can't be the White Sox, can it?
It's the White Sox.
Oh, wow.
By the way, he wasn't asking you because it was the Padres.
Correct. It was not the Swinging Friars. It was the Pale Hose. Yeah, 27-10 at home, first 5 run line. So I love that. They're also just take home field out of it for a team that was expected to be maybe the second worst or third worst or worst in baseball. 41-36-1 first 5 run line. And I'm juicing it a little bit here, and I'm totally fine with that. Again, I'm playing it a little safe. The kid they have on the mound, Shane Smith, we've been backing for the better part of 6 weeks before we even started this show. He has the lead in 5 of his last 8 starts after 5 innings. So there's that. He's also 17th in the majors with a 2.53 ERA in the first 5 innings of games. The league has just a 6.10 OPS off this kid through the first 5 innings of games. Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He's struggling. 5.53 ERA in his through 5 innings. That's among the worst in baseball. The league through 5 innings, batting .351 off him, slugging .511. That's an .862 OPS. Eduardo has a .621 ERA on the road. Would not surprise me if the White Sox have the lead after 5. If you want to go the money line route, I'm not mad at you. I kept it conservative here. All right, EK, what you got?
My third down is going to go to the NFL because now that the NBA is officially over, I feel like now we can really start to talk about the NFL. I mean, it's like, giving out free chocolate pudding. Everybody's happy when you talk NFL. So today's the first day. Let's do it. And the team that I'm going to start to pick on, and you're going to hear me pick on a lot, is the Houston Texans. They are an overvalued team in my book. They're a lot more name than game, and the schedule is absolutely brutal this year compared to last year. Last year, they had a very soft schedule. This year, quite the opposite. I will play them under 9.5 wins. Now, right now, if you look at most books, there's a 9.5 and then an 11.5. I'm not playing all that juice to go under 11.5 because it ends up being like minus $3 or whatever. The day they post 10.5, I am going to literally stop whatever I'm doing, and you're going to see all the pens and papers fly up, and I am going to sprint to the metaphorical window, which is my phone, as everybody bets on it, and I am going to absolutely hammer them under 10.5. Here's what the Houston Texans have for a schedule. They have home games with San Francisco, Buffalo, and Denver. That's nice and all, but now let's talk on the road. At the Rams, at Baltimore, at Seattle, at Kansas City, at the Chargers. Where's 11 wins coming from? Where? And they're not any good. Here's the thing about Houston. You know how many touchdowns they scored last year? You know how many touchdowns C.J. Stroud threw for last year? 20, the whole year. They had 35 offensive touchdowns the whole year, and they were healthy last year. C.J. Stroud didn't miss anything. So even if they stay healthy, they're not getting here. And what if they have some injuries? I just don't see a path for them to win 11 games, let alone, I'm right now I'm playing that 9.5. Yeah. But I'm telling you, the second it goes to 10.5 on the alt line, it'll be like minus $1.80 or minus $1.90. It will be my play of the year in the NFL. Fade the Texans. They're not getting to 11 wins. Right now I'm betting them to not get to 10. The schedule, the health, and the numbers tell you they're not getting there.
I love it. I will be playing that with you on the 10.5 with Meatball here, a standard 1-unit play. I still think they win the division, though, because everybody else in that division sucks, and we'll get to the Jags in overtime. Beltway Ben, third down.
Third down is I'm going to go with James Wood over 1.5 hits, runs, and
That's
RBI.
A bad man right there. That's a bad man right there.
And the one thing with it, like you're just talking about him being a bad man, we're getting him a minus 115 for 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Like, you don't find that much. But lefties are slugging .495 against Kolek this season, and it's his first year as a starter. He started off great, right? The first month up in May, things were going well, right? And first few starts were good. Then he started to struggle a little bit, had a few more good starts, and now his last 2, he's given up 7 earned runs. So I think the lefties can get to him. The Nats are going to stack their lineup with left-handed batters because that's just kind of how they do things. This is a Wood revenge game. He never played in San Diego, but was in their system. Yeah. The wind's blowing out strongly to right field. He's going to be in the 2 spot. And you look at his numbers against right-handed pitching. 286, 398, 594 slash line. If you're a righty, this is the last guy you want to see at the plate. That right field wall, that stands out to me today. I think he might knock one over it. So I do like James Wood over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
I almost went and played the Friars today, but it's a revenge game for everybody. It's a revenge game for C.J. Abrams. You know what I mean? It's a revenge game for Mackenzie Gore. You know what I mean? When he pitches in it, obviously Wood, that Soto trade, the gift that keeps on giving. They got this kid, Jarlin Cesano, in that trade as well, who throws like an easy 102. A little bit wild, but that's what you get. All right, 4th and long. We told you we are going to start playing some NFL games. We're starting with week 1. We each spent the weekend researching it. I almost took the Rams over the Texans here. Your Texans, your fadeable Texans, EK. I did not go in that direction. We'll start with you, EK. NFL week 1, what's the play you got to make now?
Oh, man, I love this. And I like the Jets under 18.5 points. Total 39.5. They're 3-point dogs. I mean, you can find this in a lot of spots. It's very standard, just minus the 3, split it in half, and they're right now on the board. It's 18.5 everywhere. Number 1, the Steeler D early in the year. Yeah, buddy, give me all that Steeler D. Number 2, new quarterbacks in new systems with new offensive coordinators and new coaches. Week 1, the defenses are ahead of the offenses early on. Give me all of that because I have a new everything for the Jets with Justin Fields there. Number 3, Aaron Glenn. Defensive mind. What has he talked about all offseason? We are going to keep it close to the vest, no mistakes, try to win these games in the fourth quarter, which means he's trying to win the game 17-14. And finally, Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to give out my secret sauce. You're going to hear me say this everywhere all year long. I am an absolute play chart. I was going to use a word that rhymes with butt or gut or mutt, but I'm not going to say that on the show.
Yes.
But that's what I am, because I really believe the key to props is in plays, because you get the sense and you can see that if a team ran 72 plays, 71 plays, 70 plays, and then the team they're playing, they're going to run 55 plays this week, I hammer all the unders on the props. And nobody makes sure that your team runs less plays than Aaron Rodgers. He is a get the clock down to 3 before he snaps the ball more than anybody else over the last 5 years. So the Jets are going to run less plays than they will be projected to run with a new coach and a new quarterback and a new offensive coordinator against an elite defense when they're trying to run the game down to 14-13, and you got to get in the 20s to beat me. Give me all that Jets under 18.5.
I love it. And to amplify what EK said there, and I do play Mike Tomlin teams on the road a lot early in the season. And if you look at Tomlin in his career as a road dog or as a small favorite, he crushes it. And part of that reason is they play old school football. I've been to Latrobe for 15 years, and they start that first session, even now in this new CBA, that first practice, they are full pads, 11 on 11, goal line, to the ground, tackling to the ground, not two-hand touch. Like, they still steal themselves, excuse the dad joke, for the season and the start of the season with a level of physicality that most teams in this day and age don't match. And you get a rookie head coach and a quarterback who Tomlin knows his psyche inside out. I almost went with that game. We'll get to mine in a minute. But wait, Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens at plus 105 on the money line in Buffalo. And it was a play that as soon as I saw the line come out for this matchup, I was like, if the Ravens are plus money, there's no way I'm getting away from it. And I think the Bills to start the season haven't been great, right? 2-2 in their last 4, and they get off to a relatively slow start. But as do the Ravens, this is a little different to me. Last year they played the Chiefs, and I'll be honest with you, I was on the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs would win that game. I bet the Chiefs. And the Ravens were an Isaiah Likely 2-inch toe from going for 2 to try to win the game. The Chiefs had lost to the Lions the year before. Kelsey and Chris Jones weren't on the field in that game. So it was a spot where you're like, the Chiefs aren't losing 2 games in a row on opening night. You just didn't see that happening. The Bills, on the other hand, they beat the Ravens in the playoffs, but the weather's much different in September compared to January, right? It's a lot warmer then.
Yes.
It'll be a lot better circumstance for the Ravens. They're going to have that playoff loss on their mind. And you look at what the Bills did this offseason, like Joey Bosa, the big addition, right? That was the thing. He's already dealing with a calf injury. And that's boom or bust. And I'm probably siding with bust, to be quite honest with you, because of Von Miller. That was their big addition when they did that. How'd that work for him? It didn't work very well, except for a few slight instances. So I do think the Ravens win this game at plus 105. There's just no way that I'm going against the Ravens. And you look at what they do with Jair Alexander. This is a big health thing as well. Like, we're not going to see many guys get hurt in preseason with the Ravens. They've decided to start benching their guys. Right. They've benched their guys. Now, training camp, there's always the concern. I think Jair Alexander is on the field week 1. If Lamar starts slow like he does sometimes, his first few snaps, of course, he doesn't play in the preseason, takes some time to get going. That defense you can fall back on this year. I think they're going to limit the Bills. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a big game against the Bills because last year in the playoffs, Everybody expected it, and we didn't get as much as we expected, but you can expect it this year. I like the Ravens at plus 105 on the money line.
I love it. I wasn't punting on Ben's bet there with Adam Gase. I was punting on the Bills offseason pass rush acquisition. Those 3 games, the 2 you mentioned, and then that Rams-Texans game, were in the final 4 for me in this segment. And ultimately, I went with this game I'm about to give you because I think the line's going to move and maybe move sooner rather than later. And I'm not a big Arizona Cardinal guy, and I really don't like to back Kyler Murray on the road as a favorite, but get this 4.5 while you can. The Saints are the worst team in the NFL. And when people start watching the Saints quarterbacks, I'm using air quotes, quarterbacks in these preseason games, and they're going to have to play because it's not like they've got some dude in bubble wrap who they know is going to start winning for them week 1. It's going to be a disaster. And other teams' backup defenses are going to expose this for what it is. I'm not a big Kellen Moore guy. This thing opened at 3. If you go to some books right now, it's already at 6. You can find it at 4.5. Most have it at 5.5. Some have moved it to 6. And I'm telling you, 3 weeks from now, when even the beat writers start talking about, oh my God, like this dude just hit the water boy, in a 7-on-7, it's not going to be pretty. Now, Kyler Murray fades during the season, but Kyler Murray week 1 generally gets it done. He's 4-1 against the spread week 1, 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He also runs for 7 yards a carry because he's spry, he's loose, he's shot out of a cannon. He hasn't started being beat up and bruised yet. If you go back since 2021, guys, the New Orleans Saints are 8-14 against the spread at home outside their division. Only the Patriots and the Falcons are worse. And again, it's Kellen Clemens' first game. It's a fan base that's really started to turn on that team. It's no talent. And Arizona are fast starters, and then they tend to fade. I also think Gannon's got himself a half-decent defense there in Arizona. So that's one I jumped on over this weekend. All right, overtime. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Everybody jumps on them. And if you mean jump on them and then beat the snot out of them. It's time to play trend or bend. If you are rocking with this trend, you're with EK's friends here, rocking the leg warmers and aerobic gear back in the day. If you are going to fade this trend, then you are with the bend, trend or bend, Radiohead, the bends. It only gets better with time. Here is the trend, my friends. Here is the trend. Jacksonville Jaguars, 7.5 is their win total this year. The Jags are under this total in 12 of the last 14 seasons. They have 8 wins or more in just 3 of those 14 seasons. And last year, if you weren't paying attention, their defense was 27th in points allowed and 31st in yards allowed. So I'm going to throw this out to you to start, Beltway Ben. Could you get behind this? Could you get behind this trend that they go under again, or are you allured by the prospect of plus money and you think that the boy wonder Liam Cohen takes them over this?
Well, it's again an awesome album here that I still have yet to listen to. But
just trust me,
it's a semi bend for me, and I'll explain. Right? Am I taking them over 7.5 wins? No, probably not. Look at their schedule. Right? Carolina, Cincinnati, Houston, San Francisco, Kansas City, Seattle, Rams. Like you start off horribly. It's not going to go well. But then after the bye, this is where I might buy them at a much lower total because they're going to start slow. And Trevor Lawrence, this has to be the year for him, right? Cohen comes in. Next year, he might be back with the Rams. Who knows? You know how he juggles everywhere, and he's probably looking for a new job already. But this is year one. This is Trevor Lawrence. This is the make or break year for him. Brian Thomas intrigues me. Their defense is still their defense, right? Like, it's not going to be a good defense. But I do think Trevor Lawrence has a year where he kind of, I don't know if he silences the doubters, but I do think he bounces back a little bit coming off of that injury. And again, this is not me playing them over 7.5 wins. But when you look at them coming off the bye week, the Raiders, the Texans, who we just mentioned, who probably are going to fall back this year, the Chargers, maybe a loss, Cardinals, Titans, Colts twice, Titans twice, Jets, and Broncos. Like, these are games that are winnable. So why take the 7.5 right now over at minus money when you're probably going to be able to get after week 8, maybe 5.5? That's where I'm going to be looking after week 8. And it's also not as long of a wait. Right now, if I'm playing the under or over right now, I'm going to have to wait. You got to wait through the end of July, August, and all that season. You wait till week 8, you get in November and wait a month and a half. That's probably where I would go here. So I'm not taking 7.5 over or under now, but I will be taking them over their win total through the bye week because I think they start pretty slow.
EK, where are you going? Are you going with Heather Locklear and company?
It's not better than what he just said. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty sharp number.
Yeah.
At 7.5. I sort of, in my models, I have them either winning 7 or 8. So, I mean, if I were making the line, I would make it 7.5. But I think he's on to something that this is a type of thing where you may want to wait and then actually buy them over after a slow start. I mean, obviously, they're going to give the coach a little time. Obviously, I was wrong about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I'm very hard on quarterbacks coming out, and I'm usually the one that says I don't like them. He was one that I really liked and just hasn't gotten it done. I mean, let's be fair. And people say, well, he's got to do it this year. Well, does he? I mean, maybe he's just not that good. I don't know. But I do think a new guy and a new training camp and a new couple of weeks, they may be behind and he may start to feel it and he may give you a good month in the middle of the season and we want to buy that month. I actually think Ben's onto the right thing because what I was going to tell you is I think 7.5 is the sharp number, but I think the smarter play is what Ben just told you, which is let's wait, let's hope they start slow, and then let's buy them. And if they start fast, we can move on to something else because there'll be a million other things that we like better to bet.
If you forced me to make a play on this today, and I haven't and I won't, but if you did, I would ride the trend just because when I'm making futures bets, I'm often looking at the totality of the organization more than a couple of individuals. And I've seen a lot of Shad Khan operations. And they never, with maybe 2 exceptions, and the guy's been here a long time, they come in on like they're less than. Like, the front office is less than. And maybe he finally got it right. And again, I'm not dying to fade this, and I'm not playing it one way or the other. I think Ben's strategy is smart. But if you made me put $100 on this right now, I would go under just because there is a learning curve for head coaches. Like, there were 5 rookie head coaches last year. One of them had more than 5 wins, and that was with an MVP candidate, helping him out. So, like, that's hard for me. Like that's hard for me. I don't buy the defense. I don't buy that there won't be a learning curve. And as much as the division stinks, I still wonder, like, are they the 3rd best team in the division? Like, if the Colts defense congeals, like I think it might, are they the 3rd best team in the division? But this is not one that I'm dying to put money on right now. To EK's point, I think that's super, super sharp where they put it. And look, if Cohen looks like they're losing early, but the light bulb's coming on for Lawrence, then that might be the right time to buy them. Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to Wanna Bet. We had to do it a little earlier today than usual. Most days we will be at noon. We'll be here throughout the week. We've got some other great guests lined up. You can check out our picks on our Discord. You can go to my Twitter and the link's right there. EK, is that the easiest way for them to find it with you?
Yeah, either any one of the 3 of us. If you go to our Twitter bio, it's right underneath our bio, and you just click on the link and you're in. Part of the community.
Excellent. We thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you cash the NBA with us one last time for a long time. And we will be back with more baseball, Gold Cup, WNBA bets, PLL bets, all that coming to you all week long on Wanna Bet.